Culture. Should we do culture?
Wait, yeah, that's one of the choices, right?
Yeah, it's culture, attraction.
So we have to answer all of them.
I think.
Oh, you must choose one.
Yeah.
Okay, culture, attraction, sensuality. What is that? Other two?
Oh, so it's only 2 topics.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so say those 2 topics separately.
Culture,
Yeah.
then attraction, sensuality, and sexuality.
So culture is one, right? The other topic is attraction, sensuality, and sexuality. See, those are the 2.
Wait, okay, it's culture.
Yes.
And then
Those
the
3
other
together.
What the?
Culture and tradition are very similar. Where they differ is with regards to history behind it.
It's more than just tradition and all of that stuff. To me, culture is a lot more deeper than that. I'm a particularly religious person, so for me, culture is a sacred thing as well.
Culture to me is what gives us an identity, I think. What makes us who we are as a people, as a community, what unites all of us. My culture is not just what tradition, it's also what my family makes its own culture.
I'm a Zulu, so the coming of age for a Zulu girl is having a ceremony which is called Udwendwe or Memulo, or whatever it may be. And then in the American culture, you have your Sweet 16. In South Africa in general, a lot of people have 21st birthdays. So it's basically a way of life and a way of doing things. So yeah.
Group identification, where a group of people decide what they like and what they identify with and stick to that basically. Yeah.
Culture to me, it's what you represent. It's who you are as a person, what you've grown up with, the people that you meet along. So I can say culture is a broad term.
Culture for me depends on the person you are. So there's a culture where you connect to the ground roots of who you are, to your family.
It tells you who you are, but in the deepest sense a person can imagine.
What makes culture for me is mostly my family culture, which is also influenced by community culture.
Yes, we can talk about culture in terms of ethnicity, but now we bring it to current things, right? We can talk about hip-hop culture.
I'd say culture for me is basically where we kind of learn our values and norms and morals. It's kind of like the base of our growth. And then I think culture can change as you grow older, because the more you engage in society, the more you adapt other people's culture, if you can put it like that, but you don't disregard your own. You kind of just add from others and maybe deduct things that don't make sense to you because now you're older and able to make your own decisions.
Because usually when we talk about culture, or when we think about culture, we're thinking like our tribes or where we're from, but culture can also be a modern day thing, like, you know, young people culture.
I'm part of Irish culture, and it's one of the few cultures in Europe that hasn't really let go of its pre-Christian heritage.
Well, I identify with the Zulu culture, so the Nguni group. Yeah, the Nguni culture.
I'm from the Tsonga culture. I was born into the Zulu culture. Yeah.
I'm from the Zulu culture.
When we related with like your dad is Zulu or then I'm Swati, right? But I'm more in touch with my mother's culture. So I tend to tell people, give us Swapedi, so Swati and Pedi. Yeah, that's what.
I'm from the Afrikaans culture, but a very strange Afrikaans culture because it's got that family element and all of that, but due to like history and stuff, there's a lot of the Afrikaans culture I feel that got lost throughout the years. So I feel like the Afrikaans culture just needs to kind of find itself in what it used to be, the good stuff, that family element and all of that. So I personally struggle with my culture because it's a whole mess for me.
I'm from the Shona culture, but most of us have adopted Christianity a lot, so we really don't practice a lot of our culture, which is not a good thing. And we're all trying now to go back and find our culture, not just not disregard it.
Like I come from a very mixed family, so you don't have one definite culture. Because if you look at all the black cultures, to be precise, there's a lot of similarity as much as we're different. There's a lot of similarity, so I just always say from the black culture.
Definitely should, but it should keep roots to itself. It should never lose those roots, I believe. Even though, for me, what I said before, it's something that I'm more adjusted to modern times. I feel like at some point there's always a connection you should keep to whatever you had before. But it should definitely always adapt as how everything else is adapted.
There's certain ways that certain cultures, including my own, that look the way they look at mental health issues that may not be very healthy. So to adapt to the times, I think would be important. Yes.
No, because look, we are influenced obviously as time goes on because we evolve, things evolve, people change, things change. But there's a lot of things that we could have kept from our ancestors, if I can put it like that, that are still relevant today. In fact, that would have helped us even grow more today had we kept them.
I think it should definitely move with the times, but not to say that we should lose all the elements of it. You know, we should still remain proudly cultural, especially as Africans.
Culture is in the now and it should reflect what's happening now. For that reason, I think it should adapt to the time.
To some extent, yes, if we understand what culture is. Culture is about values and morals. If we keep those core values of love and community and just peace all together, you can always get those. If you take those core values, you can adapt them to the time, to whatever scenario, whatever is happening at the time.
I don't think it's something worth abandoning totally. Some elements can be changed, but it's not to say that it should happen. It can happen. So if people don't necessarily want to change their culture, then it's okay. You can move out of that and create your own. Like, cultures were man-made, were people-made. So what stops you from creating your own right now?
I do believe in developing a personal culture because when it comes to an individual, it's not something that should be copied. You know? Each and every one of us is different. For that reason, how we express ourselves should be different. And for that reason, when it comes to culture of yourself, it shouldn't be something that mimics other people. It should be something that is focused on you as a person, as an individual.
Developing, yes, but with the sole purpose of developing a personal culture that's just your own and no one's allowed to share in it, I don't think that's a good idea.
I think so. Like in the same way that our families have our own way of doing things, as we grow, we experience new things. We come across new scenarios. You might experience something that your parents didn't experience, and from that, you're gonna have to develop certain ways of handling things, and that on its own is a way of creating your own culture.
Yeah, I think so. Generally, just to kind of navigate the world and sort of like stand your ground in who you are, I think it's definitely necessary just to have a set of values, traditions that you follow that mean something to you.
I feel like we all should have it. The problem is that society gives inhibitions to fully express who the real person is.
Oh, everything, I think, down from language to events to family structures to everything. Environment that you're in as well.
Me, it's my values and my principles. So what I believe in as a person, the core values that make me me, which is love, peace, understanding, incorporating everybody, understanding other people.
I think it's had a lot of influence because when I moved to Pretoria, I had a culture shock. I'm from KZN, so like almost every, I don't know, like 9 out of 10 people that you meet are Zulu in KZN. So there's a set way of doing things. And I'm from a small town, so I'm not speaking for everyone in general.
Well, my culture, my great-granddad was very focused on that we have to preserve our family's culture because we come from a very strong clan system and everything. So it's influenced me as an individual in that I still, I haven't really let go of any of those cultural things that my great-granddad kind of, not forced, but was strong on in our family.
You kind of take up some of the traditions as your own values and you kind of grow with that. But then for me, I've learned to sort of use it as a yardstick of what I don't necessarily want to become, because the Zulu culture is very patriarchal sometimes. It's very, a woman has to submit, and I'll respect, yes, sometimes I'll submit out of choice, but I just know never to let someone like treat me like a doormat in the name of culture.
If you dig deep in your own culture, you have a sense of belonging, but you also have a sense of knowing yourself. You are allowed to be yourself and still take things from other aspects of life, fine. But like you said, the core is there.
It does go back to identity. It's given me a sense of identity. It's kind of shaped the kind of person that I am.
Seeing as I see my culture as a little bit lost and confused, I kind of struggle with my identity around my culture. I mean, I do understand that Afrikaans culture is still there and all of that, but as a personal opinion is that I feel lost within that culture, trying to find that little bit of identity of myself.
For me, like, yeah, you take on what culture sort of impacts on you or gives to you, and sometimes that comes with a lot of negative like things. Like for me, in the Tonga culture, Tonga people are usually stigmatized, we're marginalized, so you take that on and you sort of internalize it. So you get into a situation where unless there are other Tonga people around you, you're sort of like scared to be proudly Tonga because of the way that Tonga culture is interpreted out in the world.
What she said, because of her culture, she feels somewhat isolated. The opposite happens for me, where I feel so proud because Zuluness has that element of pride. I don't know, I can go anywhere and speak my language and I know someone will stop speaking their language and literally bite their tongue trying to speak mine.
Respect.
Love
Freedom.
Autonomy.
for the culture.
For the culture.